Hello everybody, welcome to another Magic Duels gameplay video with some two-headed giant action. Today we're going to look at the zombie deck, the black and white zombie deck. Play a few games and then we'll also play a two-headed giant round. I think in one of my previous videos Wild Boar used this zombie deck when we did a two-headed giant round, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. The zombie archetype is probably one of my favorites, and feel free to skip this part if you wish. This is my build of the zombie deck. First we have the Crypt Breaker. Can only have 2 copies, but very powerful, very useful as a card draw engine, as well as a way to get rid of cards in your hand if you need to make zombies, extra 2/2 zombie tokens. And you can tap 3 zombies and draw a card and lose 1 life. The Festering Mummy is another great zombie card. Even though it says it's a mummy, it's a zombie that can give a -1/-1 counter when it dies. Good blocker. Time to Reflect, a 1-mana kill card. Very awesome. And not only is it a kill card, it exiles. So you can actually get rid of an indestructible creature or god with this. As always, Fatal Push, one of my favorite artwork pictures, is a good easy removal spell for early small creatures that may get in your way. Pretty easy to get Revolt too. Now Dark Salvation here is incredibly powerful. You think that XX, and then the black man is kind of a high price to pay, but you can actually cast this for just 1 black, and the creature gets -1/-1 for each zombie you control. You don't even have to create tokens with it. So it can actually be an incredible kill card. Hopefully I can show it off. Binding Mummy is great as another cheap zombie that can tap lots of stuff down, and you'll see that you can just tap almost the entire opponent's board down sometimes. Rancid Rats is another zombie, but this has Skulk and Death Touch, so a pretty good blocker as well as a zombie. The Wayward Servant is another zombie, but this is the one that we're really building the deck around, as whenever a zombie enters, we drain the opponent for 1, and we gain 1 life. Cemetery Recruitment. You can run more copies of this, but this is just a way to get some of your key zombies back from the graveyard, and you get to draw an extra card with it. Liliana, of course, is the key zombie queen of all time. Excellent Planeswalker card. The Diregraph Colossus, zombie giant, which creates zombie tokens, and it can be bigger depending on how many zombies are in your graveyard. So as always, lots of graveyard synergies and whatnot with these zombie creatures. Works great with the Wayward Servant here, since it'll trigger twice. The token will also trigger the Wayward Servant. And the Plague Belcher. Usually I put the -1/-1 counters on just a token, and the token will die, and you do damage to the opponent, and you have a 5/4 zombie with Menace. Lord of the Accursed is, of course, our zombie lord that gives all zombies +1/+1, and you can give them all Menace for a fatal attack. Now, Drana's Emissary is not a zombie, but it is the colors, and it's a pretty good creature as like the only flyer in the deck, and once again it can drain the opponent. The other Liliana Planeswalker. Be careful, you can't have both of the Planeswalkers on the field at the same time. Just gotta keep that in mind. Kalitas is in this deck. Another creature that's not a zombie, but he does have lots of zombie synergies. Lifelink, and you can sacrifice zombies to make him bigger. And also, when a creature dies, he creates a zombie, which triggers all these zombie synergies. Anointed Procession, you can run more copies of this, but I found the game is over before you even have time to play this because zombies are so powerful, but this just doubles all those zombie tokens. Gisa's Bidding makes a 2/2 zombie tokens, and you can Madness this out too if your opponent's making you discard You can discard this as a surprise and just make a couple zombie tokens. Liliana's Mastery as a must-have. All zombies get +1/+1, and it creates 2 zombie tokens, which are actually 3 threes, so it's definitely a very, very nice enchantment. Of course, Never as a kill card to get rid of maybe an annoying planeswalker or a creature that's too big, and of course we can anytime use the Aftermath. Return to create more zombie creature tokens. And then the mana base. This is a 2-color, so we've got 8 plains, 8 swamps, and then 2 Shambling Vents, which is the dual land, 1 Westvale Abbey, which of course I often run in these token decks because you may have a lot of tokens that you can sacrifice to make this transform into a giant creature, which is often game winning. 2 copies of Evolving Wilds just to get your colors if you're having trouble, and then the other dual land. So let's go ahead and jump into some zombie games here and see how powerful the zombie deck really is. And we can't keep this one, I don't think. That's 6 lands, although Liliana's Mastery is a great card. But yeah, can't keep that one. This is better, definitely. It's nice we can get at least 1 more draw before a mulligan. In Magic Duels, you can actually do 2 hands instead of having to mulligan on your first redraw. But yeah, this is a pretty good hand. The Colossus, sometimes you want to play it later when you have some zombies in your graveyard, but don't feel bad about playing it early. It will be kind of weak as a 2/2. This Rival Marshal can be annoying, as he can make it bigger and it can tap things down. But yeah, don't feel bad about playing this early. I mean, it can be bigger if you play it later in the game, but the sooner you get it down, the sooner it'll be making lots of zombie tokens for you. Like, I can play this Plague Belcher, and I can just put the -1 counters on the zombie token, and then he'll be a nice big 5/4 for 3 mana with Menace, which is a pretty good deal. So the Colossus creates a zombie, and we'll go ahead and put the counters on the zombie we created. It'll die, and that actually does damage to the opponent. So anytime a zombie dies, when that creature is out, we do 1 damage to the opponent. So it can add up pretty quick. And a lot of times it's a lose-lose situation for the opponent. Like if you attack with a token, if he takes it, he loses damage, but if he kills the token, he also loses and takes damage because of the Plague Belcher there, which once again has Menace. So a pretty awesome turn 3 5/4 creature. But we're going to take 2 in the air from the double strike. The weakness of this deck, of course, is air. So we'll struggle against lots of flyers, which is why I do have quite a few kill cards in the deck. Got to use the kill cards for the flyers. And of course I have the 1 flying vampire. But yeah, we could play this 1 mana kill card, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 zombies, so I can give something -6/-6 for just 1 mana, which is pretty awesome. But I'm fine losing some tokens. See, I lose the token, but the opponent still takes damage. But yeah, this Dark Salvation, I'm not going to use it now, but kind of a waste. But it's pretty awesome. It's nice to make actual tokens with it, and then give something -1/-1. And remember, you can use this Dark Salvation to get rid of an indestructible creature, such as a god, which the opponent often has. So, just got the one flyer to worry about, but it's only doing 2 damage in the air. Opponent's got a couple, an exert creature. Fortunately, he hasn't been tapping anything down. Yep, I'm fine with that, just so long as he doesn't buff that double strike. That could be a problem. If we draw a land, we can probably just go ahead and play Liliana's Mastery out. Well, that's unfortunate. So we can kill something, but I'll just get Kalitas going, I think. If possible, it's nice to get Kalitas out here and going. That way, if any creature dies, you create a zombie. And the creature's exiled also. So you see the opponent has a 2/2 there with Embalm. So if it dies, he can bring it back. However, with Kalitas on the field... shoot, that's what I was afraid of. With Kalitas on the field, if that creature dies, it gets exiled and you can't embalm it anymore. So it's a great way to prevent the opponent from embalming stuff. From the embalm mechanic. There's our Wayward Servant, finally. So we would have been gaining a lot of life if I had played that out first. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to make some zombies, but let's go ahead and... So I can give something -7/-7 for just 1 mana. And he gets exiled, we create a zombie, we drain for 1, get healed for 1. Opponent's going to tap down my 2/2, that's perfectly fine. I could probably attack with the 6/5 as well, the Menace creature, but he could double block it and take it out, and I like having it. You might be tempted to attack with it, but remember, every zombie that dies will deal damage to the opponent's face automatically, and so it's nice to have it on defense. That way, any of your zombies that get killed, you'll just keep slowly draining the opponent to death. Sadly didn't draw the land for Mastery, but we can kill something else. Yeah, that one can be a problem. Let's go ahead and take that out. Once again, create a zombie, drain for 1, gain 1 life, and his creature will get exiled every time. And we'll just keep attacking with the tokens. I'm going to keep a couple back. Oh yeah, he can do that double block. Well, doing the double block, lost him his creature. And it's exiled, and we created another zombie. I want to keep a few tokens that I can maybe sacrifice to Kalitas. I could be much more aggressive here, but yeah, it's just fun to build up an army. Well, this is disappointing. Been wanting to put Liliana's Mastery out. Now he's going to tap down my 6/5, that's fine. Create a token, the token will drain him. And also this will drain him as well. This time the -1/-1 tokens won't kill the zombie. It'll just become a 1/1. But yeah, we pretty much have game here. Just attack with all the tokens. Kalitas can get in there. But keeping the Wayward Servant back, because that's your drain. And those died, and we created some more zombies. So yeah, loads of fun. Once again, this deck is great because if the game gets stalled, you can just sit around and drain the opponent to death with the Wayward Servant. See, there are 2 triggers there on the stack. We would have drained him for 2 more and gained 2. And any zombies that die would have also drained him. So here we go, let's try another game. Once again, you can feel free to skip these kind of demonstrations if you want. and go straight to the two-headed giant round. But I kind of like to show off how the deck works, and then we'll see what strategies that we can use with it in two-headed giant with a partner. Somebody the other day in the comments was complaining. I was like, wow, these games are really long. And I was like, yeah, two-headed giant rounds especially, you need to think about there are 4 players, all making decisions, so easily you're going to make it twice as long. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way Arena has done their format. It's just, everybody wins on, either you win on turn 2 or lose on turn 2 kind of thing, and so the games are over in, a couple minutes, and that's not a game of Magic. I mean, come on, you sit down to do a card game. A game of Magic should be around 20 minutes at least for, a really good, interesting game. So yeah, this thing can be annoying. I was going to see if it did anything, if it hit me. Could have taken it out with my Death Touch creature, but I can probably hold back for something bigger. The rats are good if, the opponent has a giant green creature that you really need to deal with. And, you can just chump block it and kill it. Also with a Skulk, the Skulk ability, I guess I should say, mechanic, not a mechanic, ability, I guess, is kind of rare. There aren't too many creatures that have that. So by making the rats bigger, the Skulk is actually better. Well, hopefully we'll get to show off Liliana's mastery this game. But for now, let's put Kalitas in, as always, as soon as possible. The sooner the better. I'm okay trading this off now, since I'll just make extra zombies. Of course, he can't block it anyway, because it has Skulk. Another way to get in free damage. Skulk is technically an unblockable ability with limitations. Ooh. Yikes. As always, that's a really good board stall creature, making a bunch of 2/2 lifelink cats. And he's gaining health for every token that enters. So this game is going to be pretty interesting. There we go. Definitely got to get the Wayward Servant as soon as possible. And got the Crypt Breaker online too, so I can draw extra cards. But now if anything dies, of course it's going to be exiled. That's why I chose that creature, so he couldn't embalm it. And we created a zombie token, and we drained him for 1. So since there's kind of a board stall going on, I was hoping this situation would show up. You can see how this deck, we can just sit here and drain the opponent to death when we get a lot of our synergies going. And of course you can just freely attack with all the tokens, since we don't really mind losing the tokens. And with Kalitas, we'll always make more. Wow. Another Caracal. Let me go ahead and draw here, because these lifelink cats... Well, there's 1 kill card. Yeah, now the lifelink cats are 3/3s. So the opponent's got quite the board. Ooh. And we've got the... Boy, so many good choices here. But I need to kill one of these cats. So make sure to kill the actual cat and not the tokens. And once again, we'll get another zombie. Go ahead and wait till end of turn to draw off of the Crypt Breaker. That way you can keep your zombies for blockers. It's probably... a lot of people, it's easy to forget to quickly draw at the end of the turn, especially after blocks, because you have to tap 3 creatures to draw a card. But yeah, the opponent doesn't really have any good attacks. into the 3-4 Kalitas, but yeah, so he's ending the turn, so make sure to tap 3 zombies now. And we'll do it again. Kalitas is not a zombie, sadly, but still great for the zombie synergies, like I mentioned. So we'll draw some extra cards. So yeah, the Crypt Breaker gives you a ton of card advantage here. And since we're not dealing with flyers, this is going to be probably a pretty easy game. Just a little extra time. So now we're going to be draining for 2. Let me go ahead and get my Lord going. Make all my zombies bigger. We'll drain for 2, gain 2 life. So yeah, the Wayward Servants will just keep you alive, and then with all these zombie tokens, we're just going to have a ton of card draw. And the life loss will be offset by getting healed by the Wayward Servants. But yeah, the Wayward Servant is 1 white and 1 black, if you noticed from the list, and that's why this has to be a black-white deck instead of mono-black zombies. Because the Wayward Servant is just great. And then that opens up the door for a few other white spells. Wow, the opponent's got his own token maker. I've got that in the deck too. Hopefully we draw it. Let's go ahead and draw some extra cards. Because we got more life coming up, so I don't mind losing some life. But yeah, you can... you have access to the Binding Mummy in white, as well as the aforementioned one cost mana white kill card. So yeah, we created 2 tokens. So we drain for 4, we gain 4, and drain for 2 more. And yeah, now we got pretty much all the card draw in the world that we want. Another nice thing about Liliana's Mastery is, it gives all zombies +1/+1, and it's a enchantment, so it's harder to remove than the Lord of the Accursed. Okay, well, make sure to kill the 3/3 cat first, so all the lifelink cats get smaller. And the opponent just wants to gain some life, it looks like. Blocking with all of his 2/2s. But yeah, we killed his main creatures, so we get to drain him, make some more zombies. So even though we lose zombie tokens, we still get more zombie tokens. So it doesn't really matter. It's a lose-lose for the opponent and a win-win for Liliana. Since yeah, every creature that dies gets exiled and we get a zombie in return. So Kalitas is pretty ridiculous. We exiled all his creatures and got 3 free zombies in return. And I haven't even used it yet, but Kalitas can sacrifice those zombies and make himself bigger. You can do that at instant speed. Let me just go ahead and create 2 more zombie tokens. Drain for 4. Gain 4 life. Do it again. Of course, Liliana's great. If I can get her down, don't really need it. Liliana, the Last Hope, has a great zombie ultimate as well. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and attack with a bunch of my not important zombies. I don't really care if these die. And if the opponent lets it through, he dies. If he blocks, we still get zombies. Ooh, time to reflect. So that's the card in question I was mentioning. A zombie entered, so I get to tap down his creature. Not that it matters, since this is after combat. But yeah, the Time to Reflect is a great zombie kill card that rewards you for playing this this black-white zombie strategy. If an opponent attacks, you can just block them and then immediately use that kill card with 1 white mana, and you can exile anything. So be it a god or even a trample creature, you just block it and then kill it before damage. So it's rare that you have like a 1 mana creature kill card. And on top of that, it exiles. But yeah, I could draw tons more cards, but I'm not going to worry about it. Just going to go ahead and play out what's left in my hand here. The opponent is super dead. Unless he has a board wipe, but I don't think there are any instant board wipes. So just for fun, we'll shrink down his only zombie. Play some more, drain some more. We'll tap him down, because why not? Can even tap the artifacts down. We'll play out this gigantic 8/7. Put a couple -1 counters here. But yeah, opponent is super dead. We could draw a bunch of cards too, but let's just go all out. And there we go. Easy peasy. -57. On to the next one. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do one more here, showing off the power of the zombies, and then we'll have a 2-headed giant round. This hand is decent. I'm missing zombies, which is kind of weird in a zombie deck, but I'm pretty sure I'll be drawing some. Although the opponent does have some early pressure. Go ahead and get this tap land out of the way. I kept the hand because at least you want, at least one white source. Rarely do you need, more than one white source, but having the one white source and then everything else black is okay. Double black is definitely needed in this deck, but white not so much. And yeah, I'm kind of flooding out a little bit here. But having Kalitas and Liliana in hand as well as Dark Salvation, quite nice. And of course I can make tokens with Dark Salvation if I need to. But in the beginning, I mean, not too much pressure, but yeah, it would be nice to have a blocker. And once again, this deck is pretty good at, even if you get behind. I think I'll play the flyer out. If you get behind in life a little bit, there's lots of life gain synergies. The life gain synergies are not quite as good as the vampire life gain deck that I previously showed off. Check out that video if you missed it. The vampire life gain deck is ridiculous. Just tons and tons of life gain. Probably more powerful than some life gain angel decks I've seen. And of course, this 2/2 vampire that I have on the board is in it because she drains every turn. I gain 1 life and the opponent loses 1 life. And once again, it is a way to block a big flyer in an emergency. And if she dies, at least I'll get a zombie because of Kalitas. Assuming Kalitas stays. This lizard can be annoying. It's got 2 of them. But, oh, there's a god. Usually I'd be worried, very worried, but in the zombie deck, there's lots of great ways to deal with the indestructible gods. Although that one has double strike, so yeah, double strike can be a problem. Let me create some tokens here. And then Dark Salvation will only do a -2/-2 right now, so I think I'll wait on that. Be nice to get Liliana out. And I probably should have attacked there for 2 in the air. But yeah, he's just going to attack with the double strike, indestructible. That is 6 damage. Can probably take it for now, but yeah, I'm just going to chump and show this off here. So time to reflect. Boom. He didn't even get to kill my zombie either. So do it before damage, and you can exile a creature that blocked or was blocked by a zombie. Wow, I'm surprised. Oh, okay, he played that last, I see. So he wouldn't have to discard. So yeah, now those lizards are big. But we did get rid of the god pretty easily. As you saw there, with time to reflect for a single mana. So let's go ahead and do Dark Salvation. Give something -4/-4. Create a couple zombies. Don't really have any good attacks except the flyer here. And yeah, I guess I could have killed one of those 4/4s, but I'm not really too worried about them. They're pretty easy to double block, and that's why the opponent's not attacking me. Now, Lord of the Accursed is super tempting, because that'll pump all the zombies. And we could play another Dark Salvation here, just to show off how powerful it is. And once again, since this is -6/-6, it can kill a god or an indestructible creature, because you're giving the creature minus instead of an actual destroy effect like Never in my hand says destroy a creature or planeswalker. So that's how the deck deals with gods and indestructible creatures, as well as big ones. Once again, a lot of my deck building, instead of one-shot wonders, I try to build the deck in a way that it could handle most opponents that a person faces. And that's why it's a little different. My decks are a little different than ones you might find online. This is my own version of this deck. There's lots of different ways you can make it, but this is my version, and it works out great. So there was 3 games. Now let's go ahead and move on to the grand finale, a 2-headed giant round with my good buddy Wild Boar. And I really recommend the zombie deck. The zombie deck is a lot of fun, and it's also a lot of fun in 2-headed giant with a friend. It can really hold its own, and you can help keep your friend alive if your friend is struggling with a bad hand, or their side just isn't coming together. So I have a fairly decent opener. Once again, I somehow got Kalitas in my opening hand. There's only one Kalitas in the deck, sadly. Since in this format you can only run one and he is legendary, but it would be nice to have more. But it looks like Wild Boar is on the other zombie deck. There is a different zombie deck. Another one that I haven't shown that is blue. I think it's blue-black. It may be blue-white-black. I'm not sure. It might be a 3-color zombie deck. But yeah, Wild Boar is playing the blue-black zombie deck, because there are some blue-black zombies and pirate zombies in the format. And so it's also a pretty interesting deck to play. A lot of fun. So for today's 2-headed giant, we're going to have double the zombie fun for you all. The Haunted Dead is a zombie, which he can constantly return to the field, it looks like. One of those recursive zombies. Eldrazi Sky Spawner. Whoop. Can't really look at Wild Boar's cards while he's cycling through them, apparently. That Blade Warrior can get bigger, and that 2/2 puts -1/-1 counters. So Wild Boar played out the 4/6 God, which is also something you can run in black, since it's only black. It's not really a zombie, and you need to sacrifice a creature for it to be able to attack and block, so I didn't find it super useful as a god in the zombie deck, but you know, you can feel free to run it if you like. He can't attack or block. So this spy spawner, or sky spawner, is pretty gross looking. Good old creepy Eldrazi creatures. But yeah, we'll see how Wild Boar's deck pans out. He's got quite a few recursive zombies that come back from the graveyard. There we go, time to reflect is always good. Sadly, I got a -1/-1 counter on my creature, but he'll still be creating zombie tokens for me. Let's see, do I have any good targets for Fatal Push? Probably this poison guy. So he puts -1/-1 counters on things, so it can be dangerous. He also creates 1/1 Death Touch snakes. You can see that 1/1 green Death Touch over there on the other side. So the opponent on the left has a bunch of exert creatures, it looks like, and he's exerting them. And the one on the right has got some exert as well as -1/-1 counter synergies. Yeah, this feels like a trap, but I'm going to go ahead and block this if he... Yep. Synchronized Strike, that's unfortunate. He can also use it on his ally. So that was a pretty nice play by the opponent. I should have expected it, but he at least got it out of his hand. And didn't want to take too much damage here in the early game, since Wild Boar's a little slow getting on the board here. And his god, of course, isn't doing much because he needs things to sacrifice in order for his 4/6 god to be able to block or attack. It also drains the opponent, but you know, you got to sacrifice things. So you got to make sure you've got lots and lots of tokens, which, I mean, the zombie deck usually does have. I just feel like sacrificing them either to Kalitas or just letting them attack the opponent's face and then they die, and I actually do damage that way by having zombies die. But each to his own, I guess. So I got some pretty good leftovers here in my hand. Hopefully I can draw some more zombies. Maybe keep up time to reflect. Sadly, I can't keep it up this turn. Hopefully Kalitas sticks around. Kalitas is always a big target for opponents because it's such a powerful creature. So yeah, we got to worry about 2 Death Strikers here. I'm just gonna keep trying to reduce the pressure. Wild Boar is gonna go ahead and chump block too, since his creature, even though it dies, can be returned from the graveyard. So go ahead and get the Binding Mummy going, make another token. The more token chumpers I have, the better. Wild Boar is going to play the Amalgam. Now, I could keep up Kalitas' ability. It costs 3 mana, or we could just never kill something here. I don't think we have the best attacks. I could do Kalitas. I don't want to attack with those. No. Sorry, I'm hitting the spacebar. The spacebar is the hotkey for attack with all. I'm just going to attack with this 2/2 zombie, make it kind of a enticing creature for the opponent to block. And he took the bait. It is time for him to reflect on what he's done. So that gets exiled. Sadly, since it gets exiled, it doesn't count as dying, and so Kalitas won't create a zombie token in that situation. But that's okay. Just trying to keep the board under control. I found in Two-Headed Giant it's really important to keep the board as much under control as possible, because you have two opponents, and that means double the creature amount, and so you got to be careful you don't get overrun. Being overrun out of nowhere is definitely a possibility with two opponents. And yeah, once again, with two opponents, you're definitely going to have a longer game of Magic. It's not going to be, a turn 3 win, because your opponents are working together and you and your ally are working together. But I think we're starting to get control of the board here. Hopefully I can draw some of my draining effects. That is just a land, sadly. We'll go ahead and kill this 3/4. I'll create a zombie, and I can tap something down because I created a zombie. So yeah, there's some zombie synergies I didn't get to show in the other games with the, making zombie tokens, and then you trigger the tapping zombie. So Wild Boar is going to bring his Haunted Dead back from the graveyard. And by discarding a card, he's going to trigger Drake Haven, create 2 flyers because of discarding a card, and bring his creature back, which creates a token each time it comes back. So the Haunted Dead, that's actually kind of cool. It makes a 1/1 white spirit, and he can discard 2 and return it. And then, of course, when he discards a card, he creates a 2/2 flyer. So that's why the Drake Haven is in the deck as a blue card. So some pretty good synergy. Not straight up zombies, but mostly zombie synergies. And we're going to start getting busy. Doesn't matter too much if his 3/3 Amalgam dies, because that's another zombie that comes back from the graveyard. And I'm fine attacking with Kalitas here, since I can pump it at instant speed if he tries to double block me. I guess I'll go ahead and pump it now. Just gain us some more life. Was hoping to kind of surprise or trap the opponent, but yeah, the opponent knew that I could do that. And I created a new zombie to replace the one I sacrificed anyway. So yeah, Kalitas is pretty awesome. Sacrifice a zombie, make him bigger, something dies, just create another zombie to replace the one you sacrificed, rinse and repeat. Ooh, Liliana! Now that's gonna make lots of zombie tokens. So the opponent's got some zombies too, so we've just got a whole zombie war going on in this game, man. Although Wild Boar does have Never in his hand, which can insta-kill a Planeswalker. Ooh, Glorybringer, that's dangerous. Glorybringer is a serious problem, since that can exert and do 4 damage to any target. Luckily I buffed Kalitas in that last game, or else he definitely would have taken down Kalitas. And it looks like Wild Boar's got enough flyers that the opponents decided not to attack, so that's really good. But yeah, now we got a serious problem here. Take out Liliana, or take out the 4/4. Looks like Wild Boar is going to take out Liliana. She can bring out lots of zombies. And we do have good blockers for the Glorybringer, so... And the Scrap Heap Scrounger is coming back from the grave, it looks like. Wild Boar is going to exile a card, bring the Scrounger back. Which means that 3/3 zombie will come back. I've got all my mana up. So So I'm gonna... Nope, I did not mean to attack with everybody. Just Kalitas. Hit the spacebar again. There we go. See, I can buff Kalitas twice. So let's see if he tries to double block or kill Kalitas. Probably not. Oh wow, he is going to try. That's not going to turn out well for him. Let's take out the Naga, because that's an exert creature. This 1/1 last. But yeah, that's not going to work out for him. Kalitas is the traitor of Get for a reason. That is why he has the name Traitor. So I'm going to sacrifice 2 zombies. And yeah, this block is not going to work. And I'm going to create 3 more zombies. And tap down his Glory Bringer 3 times, because why not? Unfortunately, it's going to untap. And Wild Boar's 3/3 zombie came back, so that was awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised the opponent did that triple blocking, but... Uh-oh. And Kalitas is finally gone. That's too bad. But hey, Kalitas did quite a bit of work this game. Made me a lot of zombie tokens. Gained us quite a bit of life. We were at 20 and now we're back up to 34. And our opponent's board is somewhat empty. That Glory Bringer is really the only concern at the moment. Another Vizier of Poisons. That's manageable. It's just the 4/4 flyer that is a problem. I mean, it could attack, take out one of Wild Boar's 2/2 flyers, but he could still triple block it and take it out in the air. So I think that's why the opponent is hesitating. It would be a 3-for-1, or 4-for-1 actually. Wild Boar would lose 4 creatures, but that Glory Bringer is incredibly powerful. If possible, it's a dragon that you want to always hold on to. So my draws haven't been great. I'm just going to go ahead and exile a card from the opponent's library and make a zombie. That's about all I can do. I could tap down the Glory Bringer here. So that's always nice. Wild Boar is going to Fatal Push the Vizier of Poisons. Let's see if he plays the Sky Spawner. He does. Creates an Eldrazi 1/1. And he's going to use his Bontu to sacrifice a creature, it looks like, so that he can attack with it finally. Finally, his god is making a move. So he sacrificed the Scrap Heap Scrounger, which he can bring back from the graveyard, of course. So that was a good play. And we drain the opponent, and now his god can attack. You might as well put the pressure on here. I guess we're just going to go all out. So I don't know if this is lethal actually, but this is a pretty big attack. Whoa, that was lethal. I did not do the math. And so zombies win the day. Hold on, let's have a look here. Oh, that was Xaxes. So, opponent was at 0. We didn't have any first strike creatures, so that was Xaxes. So, alright, that was a fun two-headed giant game with my buddy Wild Boar. Thanks, Wild Boar, for joining me, and thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and check out the vampire deck, or zombie deck, I mean, not vampires. Check out the vampire deck, too. That one's cool. Check out my main channel, East Guru Japan Gaming, for lots more awesome gaming content. Check out the Vampire Life Gain deck if you didn't see that one. And tune in next time when Wild Boar and I take on some more opponents.